This thing happened to me and my friends at the cafeteria the other day that really freaked us out. We were just sitting there, eating our lunch and joking around like usual. The place was buzzing with chatter and the clatter of trays and utensils. You know, the usual lunchtime scene. There's this corner table near the window that's kinda secluded, and it's where they usually put this old lady. She's been coming to the cafeteria for years, and we've seen her around, but we never really paid her much attention. She's always there, alone, sipping on her coffee, lost in her thoughts. So, we're munching on our food, and suddenly, my friend Jess nudges me and says, "Hey, have you guys ever noticed that old lady over there?" She's staring at that lady by the counter. We all turned to look, and sure enough, the old lady was just glaring at this younger woman who was ordering food. I mean, it was intense, like she was staring right through her. At first, we brushed it off, thinking maybe it was just a weird coincidence. But then, things started getting really strange. The lady at the counter, she starts acting, I don't know, different. Like, she starts fidgeting, her eyes darting around, and she seemed kinda dazed. It was like she was in some sort of trance or something. And then, the old lady gets up from her table and slowly starts walking towards the counter. She's moving so slow, like in those horror movies where you're yelling at the screen. Run, run. But she's not like a monster or anything, just an old lady, you know? But there's something about her that's just off. I remember feeling this chill creeping up my stomach as I watched her approach the lady at the counter. She leans in, whispering something to her, and the lady's expression changes. It's like her eyes went blank, and she just starts following the old lady, like she's in some kind of trance, moving without a second thought. We were all sitting there, jaws dropped, just watching this unfold. The old lady leads the other woman to a corner of the cafeteria, near this potted plant. They stand there, and the old lady keeps whispering, her voice so low we can't hear what she's saying. But you could tell something was definitely not right, and then, out of nowhere, the old lady reaches into her bag and takes out this shiny old pocket watch. She starts swinging it back and forth in front of the lady's eyes, like in those old-time hypnotism movies. It was like time itself slowed down as we watched, helpless and terrified. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, man. It was like something out of a nightmare. The lady was just standing there, swaying slightly, totally entranced by the watch. And then, as quickly as it all started, the old lady snaps the watch shut and shoves it back into her bag. The trance breaks, and the lady blinks a few times, looking around like she's confused. And then, she just walks away, like nothing happened. The old lady goes back to her table, sips her coffee like nothing ever happened, and the cafeteria goes back to its usual buzz. But let me tell you, we couldn't eat after that. We were freaked out. We tried to make sense of it, but it was just too bizarre. We didn't know if it was some kind of prank or what, but it didn't feel like a joke. It felt sinister. I don't know what the heck was going on, but it's something I'll never forget. It's like a scene from a movie that happened in real life. I was just chilling in the cafeteria, having my breakfast, just normal stuff. But then, this lady comes in, nothing out of the ordinary. She sits across from me. Now, at first, I didn't think much of it. People sit in cafeterias all the time, right? But something about her, it was just off. She had this look, like she was staring straight through me. I tried to shake it off, but every time I looked up, she was just there, staring. So, I finish eating, try to act cool, and decide to head home. But here's where things start to get freaky. I'm walking down the street, minding my own business, and I realize that lady from the cafeteria is following me. Now, I ain't no detective, but that ain't normal. Right? I pick up my pace, but she keeps matching my speed. I start to get a little paranoid, thinking maybe it's just a coincidence, but I turn a few corners, and she's still behind me. I finally get to my place and I'm all sweaty and out of breath. I lock the door, thinking I've left her behind, but then I see her standing across the street, just staring at my window. I'm not gonna lie, I was freaked out. I tried to tell myself maybe she lived around there or something, but deep down, I knew something wasn't right. That night, I'm lying in bed, and I hear this tapping on my window. My heart's racing. I slowly get up, inching toward the window, and there she is. That lady, tapping on my window with this weird smile on her face. I freaked, slammed the curtains shut, and called a friend. I didn't know what else to do. My friend tells me to call the cops, but when I peek out again, she's gone. The cops show up, but by then, she's disappeared. They take down my info, tell me they'll keep an eye out, but nothing really comes of it. I mean, what can they do, right? For the next few days, I'm paranoid as heck. Every time I hear a noise, I'm thinking it's her. I start avoiding the cafeteria, staying home as much as I can. But then, it's like she knows. She's always there, watching from a distance, that same eerie smile on her face. I finally can't take it anymore. I pack a bag, decide I'm crashing at a friend's place. As I'm leaving, I glance out the window one last time, and she's there, closer than ever. I swear, I didn't even think. I ran out of there, shouting for help, not caring who saw me. The cops finally took me seriously. They found her, talked to her, and turns out she had some kind of weird obsession or something. They told her to stay away from me, and after that, I didn't see her again. But let me tell you, that feeling of being watched, followed like that, it's something I'll never forget.
I want to tell you about this weird and scary thing that happened to me a while back. I had just finished having dinner at this cafeteria I like, just a regular evening. I was eating alone, got my earphones in, playing some tunes, and enjoying the view outside the window. The sun was setting, and everything had this kinda orange glow to it. Anyway, after I'm done, I decide to head out to my car, which was parked in the cafeteria's parking lot. I remember thinking about random stuff, like what I had to do the next day. And then, just as I'm getting in my car, this lady, a total stranger, comes up to me. Now, let me tell you, it was kinda weird, 'cause I didn't see her around before that. And the parking lot was pretty empty, so, this lady asks me for help. She's like, "Hey, can you help me check my car? I think there might be someone inside." And I'm standing there, thinking, like, wait, what? Is this some kind of joke or something? I mean, who asks a random person to check their car for a stranger? But she looked really worried, like genuinely scared or something, so I thought, maybe she's in trouble or needs help. Honestly, I was hesitant, but something about her urgency made me agree. We walked over to her car, and I remember feeling my heart beating faster. It was just getting darker, and the whole setting was eerie, with the dim parking lot lights and the sun gone. She pointed to the back seat, and my heart practically stopped. I didn't see anyone at first, but she insisted, saying, "I'm sure I saw someone there." I bent down and squinted, trying to see what she saw. And then, out of nowhere, I swear I heard a rustling sound. I jumped back, heart racing, and she grabbed my arm. I was freaked out, man. I didn't see anyone, but the lady, she had this look in her eyes, like pure fear. She whispered, "We need to go. Now." And that's when I noticed something. In her hand, she had this small knife. I hadn't seen it before, and it made me realize that there was something seriously off about this whole situation. I didn't waste any time, just turned around and bolted back towards the cafeteria. The lady followed me, and when we got inside, I told the staff what happened. They called the cops, and I stuck around to give my statement. Turns out, that lady was acting all strange because she was actually on the lookout for a victim. The police found some evidence in her car that showed she had done this kind of thing before. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I had just narrowly escaped something really messed up. Thinking back on it, I'm just glad I trusted my gut and got out of there. It's a scary world out there, and you never really know what kind of danger you might stumble into.